And if you don't feel like you're getting richer, then clearly you're not poor enough. Because in Vietnam, the average worker's salary from 2015 to 2025 increased 63.5%. In Poland, a developing country, 44% increase in wage growth since 2017. Often we're hearing a narrative right now that the rich are getting richer, that the poor are getting poorer. But the reality is that for Western economies, that for 50 years, we have benefited off the backs of people literally working for $1 or £1 a day in developing nations, providing us goods and services on the cheap. And we have benefited from that. We as a Western economy. But now things are changing. Wages in these places are increasing at a rapid rate, far outpacing our own. And so while some of the poorest globally in society are getting richer and richer, the poor in our Western society feel the pinch more and more. Not because their own economies necessarily, but actually because developing economies are now catching up. And we've got to do something about it. Will we stay the same or will we grow?
So, as a single dad of a 11-year-old girl, I work as much time as I can while she's at school to pay for my bills, obviously, and stuff like that. And in this current cost of living crisis where everything is being put up again for 2025, I want to know how you're doing. Let me know how you're coping, because I haven't got a clue how 2025 is going to end up, as it is so expensive to live now.
I don't think people grasp just how bad the British economy is. The average person in the UK was more economically active nearly 20 years ago than they are today. This isn't just pointless rambling and complaining. Every other economy has not just recovered, they've seen economic prosperity since the 2008 financial crisis. Per capita, we were doing better than the United States in 2007. Now, to say that they've surpassed us is an understatement. We are one of the least productive countries in Western Europe. The only country that loses more millionaires per year than the UK is China, a communist country with 20 times the population of the UK. Oh my God! Okay, jokes and screaming aside, listen, there's no easy fix to this, so please don't believe the ridiculous politicians we have in this country when they come on this app and go, yeah, guys, like, all we have to do is this and the whole thing's fixed. I'm sure we'll figure it out, right? We always do, but please don't fall into politicians' false lies, saying that they're gonna fix all of this, that as soon as they get into power, not anyone else, as soon as they get into power, our quality of life is just gonna skyrocket. They all say the same thing.
What is going on with the world? These were 99p. And all of you on my last food shop haul mentioned they were 150, which is a 50% markup, and now they're 169. Aldi are robbing us blind. I had to come on. If you know, you know, you know. Only you guys will understand. Fuming isn't the word. I'm smiling, but inside I'm dying.
Right, I need everyone to know that I'm not an economist. I'm not a mathematician. I don't understand much about life. But I've just seen a video saying that we're going to start being charged tax if you have over £3,000 in savings. I don't really get it because, like, in the UK, you actually need like £1 million to put a deposit on a house. So, like, how are we meant to save their money, son? Like, how are we meant to save that money if we're then being taxed on that money that's already taxed? And, you know, they wonder why people be turning to crime. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, where my life gonna go now? You know, what should I do? I'm thinking maybe, like, I might get all my friends and just say, let's just have a whip round, buy a house in Greece, and, I don't know, just, like, bathe in the sea and, like, live off the land. They've got loads of cats in Greece too, so it'd be lush. And I could take my cats and they wouldn't be out of place. But, yeah, I mean, let me know. Has anyone got any suggestions?
Yet more bad news for all UK citizens as the Chancellor blows through her borrowing budget by 2.2 billion in 1 month. And this fiscal failing costs her nothing, and it costs us all in lost prosperity. It means yet more cuts than planned, yet more tax rises, and yet more monetary misery. And this always makes me think to myself, when I hear people going, no, you don't need business people running a government. It's not the same at all. You just a government. It's completely different from running a business. And I'm like, really? And you see stuff like this, and you don't understand that people who are operating a budget And they are operating a budget in the same way that a business operates a budget and a household operates a budget. You don't think there's a benefit in having people who know how to operate a budget in charge of the country? Does this government look like it knows how to operate a budget? We now know, we have the facts, they don't.
3 months of rent in London to give to you to move in? Why? Wait, why do you want that? Are you broke? Like, I don't get it. I am incredibly privileged. I live in a family home. If I had to find an apartment right now to live in, there would be no bubble squeak way that I would ever in my life be able to find a place to live. I cannot even, like, that, it worries me that I don't have other options in life. Like, I'm really good with the option that I have. It terrifies me that I have no other option if this one falls through. And my family are slightly unstable, so honestly, it might just. I have nowhere else to go. And then, like, other people, like, I have a family home to, like, protect me from all of that shit. I do not understand how any of my friends who are predominantly Black, queer, and creative, I don't know, just those like Black, queer, creative, trans women, disabled, most of my friends fall into those categories. I cannot imagine how in the you can pay for an apartment on your own, pay for an apartment with other people, try to go on like ShareRoom and find people who like you, because people are weird there. I had to get an apartment on ShareRoom when I moved to London. People are odd, they're strange. Other people ask me about my desires and shit, bitch. I want a room. My girlfriend lives with her friend in an apartment in Zone 3. I do not physically understand how that's possible. I don't get it! Like, how? And then when you're in there, they raise the price, shit breaks, don't go So now you're in there, broken washing machine, broken fridge, there's a hole in the roof and there's fucking rats. And no one's helping you. Black mold everywhere, lungs breaking out. You can't like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Whew. So why I left the UK? Where do I start? Reason number one, the UK will suck the living daylights out of you. I'm saying Glock 3000, double spin, twister, it will do all of that to you, bro. It's the type of place that, for me, I feel like I got out of uni thinking, okay, yeah, I've got my degree now, I'm gonna be flying high. But I don't want to go corporate. So if I don't want to go corporate, what else is there for me to do? I want to do music, I want to do content, but that's not sustainable because I'm not there yet. So what do? I go get a job. And I feel like the moment I got myself like into the 9 to 5 when I was working that specific 9 to 5, it was Amazon. Yes, Amazon. You know how it is. You're working 10 hours a day, 8 to 6:30 a.m. Bro, by the time you even find sleep, in the day, you're already starting the next shift. So imagine running that race for about a year and some change. You're gonna fall into depression, bro. Like, you can't see yourself progressing because the cost of living is getting higher and you're kind of dependent on the job. So then it's just like, bro, what am I doing here? For me, I just felt like I needed a change of scenery, a change of pace, and thank God because I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? In Miami. Follow me for more.
Leaving the UK has been the best decision I've ever made for my health because the UK was quite literally making me sick. I thought that I had all of these autoimmune diseases when I was living in the UK because I was constantly tired and fatigued. I was constantly getting ill. I constantly had anxiety. I just didn't feel my best self despite being somebody who is always health conscious, always eating the right things, always going to the gym, always getting 8 hours of sleep. And it was so draining to a point that I was focusing on my health so much and I wasn't really getting the results that I should have been. And it was just frustrating me so much and giving me even more anxiety because I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I had severe acne. I struggled with bloating because my cortisol was so high. Yes, I went to the gym, but it was really difficult to get my steps in because, you know, walking in the UK is not where it's at. It's so freezing. And since leaving the UK, I'm doing like 20,000 steps every single day. My skin is the softest and clearest it's ever been. This is just scarring. Like, I had such bad acne, you can see from the scarring here. I am the skinniest I have been in years. I have so much energy. I never thought I would have this amount of energy. I just put it down to I'm just not somebody who's got a lot of energy, despite, you know, getting 8 hours of sleep and trying to stay off my phone before I go to sleep and stuff. I just always felt drained and tired, and I just kind of gave up on that. I thought, okay, that's just me as a person. Not here. I can work until late at night. I can get up early in the morning. I feel fresh. Doesn't matter. Like, even if I get less sleep now, I'm still got the energy because I'm constantly outside. I'm constantly getting fresh air, sunlight. And that's just reason 101 why the UK is just such a depressing place to live in. And because it is like that, and because it is so miserable, it is affecting your health and your body in so many ways that you probably didn't even realise.
If you are the average British person and you choose to stay in this country for the next 2 years, here's what's most likely going to happen. Your standard of living is not going to improve, your taxes may well go up, and you will continue to feel a squeeze to your finances. So here's a graph outlining this that was released after the budget today. To explain what this graph here means to you, it means that between the last general election and the one that's about to happen, you, the average British person, have witnessed the greatest drop in living standards since records began, since the 1950s. And this is the problem. People in this country don't realise how much better our standard of living could and should be. And highlighting this is not an anti-British statement. It's highlighting how this country has gone down the toilet and is going to stay in the toilet for a good few years, all thanks to these arseholes. And Labour are not going to be in a position where they can do a great deal about it. Our economic growth is predicted to grow slower than expected. Inflation is set to remain stubborn. And the tax burden is still set to remain very high, so Labour will most likely increase taxes. The tax cuts announced today are a classic trap for the next government, and they're also not going to improve the average person's life. In real terms, we are still going to remain a country where the average person is feeling the squeeze. So I would still advise that you move somewhere else, because there are numerous countries that either have a higher standard of living or a better quality of life. And people will always say that whatever country you move to has got its own problems and that's why you shouldn't move there. Don't fall for this self-defeating, limiting belief. The grass is always greener argument is a generic and lazy argument normally made by people who don't have the bollocks to move abroad themselves. So they would rather try and prevent you from doing it and drag you down. Or they'd rather remain here living in ignorance, thinking that everything is okay without realising how much our standard of living has dropped compared to other comparable economies. Let those people remain ignorant and start looking on TikTok and YouTube at the amount of Brits who have moved abroad and are now raving about how much better their life is. There are always valid reasons why some people can't do it, but for the average person, you can. Don't let your mind be the obstacle in the way of you improving your life.
The UK is a joke right now. If you're still living in the UK and haven't moved abroad, this is the video for you. Right now in the UK it's about 5 degrees, I'm freezing my balls off and the sun's nowhere to be seen. It gets dark at 4 PM and we barely get any sunshine. No wonder seasonal depression is a thing in the UK. The NHS is failing, our government don't care about us, and are we really happy? I saw this study the other day that said most people are born and pass away within a 5-mile radius. Just think about that for a second. Every person that I know that's left the UK has said it was the best decision of their life. Think about it. Do you know anyone that's regretted leaving the UK? In all honesty, I'm leaving the UK in the next couple months and I don't know when I'll be back. There's so many better places and a world to explore. It's easy to feel stuck here. There's a lot of people that live here and don't want to, but just tied down. And yes, just because you're in another country doesn't mean you don't have your bad days. But I would rather be sad on a beach with the sun shining on me than be sad in a shoebox in London and a grey sky. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What's your opinion of the UK? And if you got the chance to leave and move abroad, would you?
I've vocalised what I like about the UK and here's what I don't like. Starting with the weather. Second thing I don't like is the artwork. Look, you're not a Banksy, so don't bother. Then there is rubbish everywhere you turn at the moment. And do not get me started on dog shit. Everywhere I turn, I manage to stand in it. I'm going to vocalise the remainder of my dislikes because I can't go to certain things and just film. But the first thing I don't like is unemployment in this country. I walk my kids to school and when I walk back there's people on the skate park that are like 25-year-old with cans of Red Bull. I work and run a business and I can't afford Red Bull, but they are drinking Red Bull at 10:30 in the morning with their t-shirts off, playing on the skate park all day with a sound buffer on the shoulders. Like, that's not cool. The second thing I don't like is just in general people's morale in this country. Like, people are miserable and not happy for other people, or you can't do anything wrong. Like, it can't be an accident, you can't accidentally cut somebody up in traffic before they start giving you the rods, and like, you ruin their whole day for doing something so minor. Or things like, you know, I overheard two colleagues talking in Lidl the other day about a guy that had rang in sick. My mentality would just think, poor bloke don't feel well, hope he's alright tomorrow. They were literally like, I might ring him in an hour to see if his migraine's gone, see if he'll come in, because I bet he just woke up late. And I thought, typical mardy ass British attitude. And that's exactly what I said to my husband about 2 minutes ago. I said, what's the one thing you don't like about the UK? And he says, people's attitudes. People's attitudes to everything, whether it's to work or to other people or to just effort, or people are jealous of each other rather than just being happy. These are the main things that bug me, additionally to what I've said. The other things that bug me is the tax man. I feel like this country in general robs the working class. It's just a joke, and I'm not stipulating on the rich or people that are on the breadline. I'm just saying, for me, being part of the working class, like, I am snipped at both ends. I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. And the final thing for me is just little things like your car insurance. I've just been quoted nearly £4,000 for my car insurance. Absolutely not, I don't have that kind of money. So these are the reasons for me why I cannot wait to pack my bags and move to the UAE, because I've had enough. I've had enough. I want some sunshine, I want some positivity in my life. Ciao for now. Say bye, Jodie. Sarah.
Really quick video from me today. Do not live in regret. You know, both me and my husband have both spoke about this a few times with each other, and we don't want to get old and, you know, turn around and be like, oh, we regret not moving out of the UK, you know, because we decided to stay for family, or we decided to stay because of work and money, etc. Obviously, you know, we need to have enough money to be able to live out there, etc. But don't live with regret, whether that's taking a job opportunity or, you know, seizing an opportunity in life that you're scared to do. Like, just go for it, because you don't know how long we've got to live, and the last thing you want to be doing on your deathbed is saying, I wish I'd done that.
11,000 millionaires left the UK last year, which makes the UK number 2 in the world with the most millionaires leaving the country, just behind China, who had 20,000 millionaires exit the country in 2024. And you might be thinking, what's the big deal? China has twice the number of millionaires leaving as the UK. But when you consider the fact that the population of the UK is 68 million and China has 20 times that at 1.4 billion. Now you need to ask yourself, why is that even a problem? Unfortunately, there is a growing opinion in the UK that the wealthy are inherently bad for some reason and that they do not pay their taxes. But these people forget that the top 10% earners in the UK pay 60% all taxes. So if they're all leaving, who do you think is going to end up paying the taxes? Spoiler alert, it's you. So if the rich are leaving this country to go to countries that are trying to attract them with better tax laws, why is it that the UK government is making it so unappealing to earn a decent salary in this country?
Someone who can't turn on the heating, that they just need to be an entrepreneur, genuinely is sick, and I agree with Gary Stevenson on that. The challenge right now is that UK is broken, it's done. The reason why 10,800 millionaires, one every 45 minutes, is leaving the UK is because they realise that we're currently in a desert. And you can be the most perfect seed in the world, sitting at home right now, wondering why you're in financial distress, financial hardship, and berating yourself that you're not good enough. But the truth is, it's not just your responsibility. You're planted in the desert, and you are the most perfect seed, but you just planted in the wrong place. Equally, you can be a broken seed and planted in the rainforest, and you can grow to the sky. The millionaires realize that. That's why they're leaving. But it's not just them. Whether it be our Polish brothers and sisters who are also going back to Poland. Why? Because wages have gone up 44% since 2017, whereas here in the UK, 0.1%. My friends, Rule Britannia, you know, God save the king and all that. It might surprise you, but there are actually better places to live. Places which provide better conditions, better value for money, better wages, better living wages to actually afford a home and life that you want. Sometimes the responsibility we need to take is not to be good enough, because we already are. The responsibility we need to take is just to change our environment.
In April this year, I'll be leaving the UK. I'm starting a series on reasons why I'm leaving the UK. So every episode will be focused on another reason. This is episode 1, where the first reason is taxes. Firstly, to set the scene, this year I'm expected to earn between 90 to 110,000 pounds. If I earn, let's say, 100,000 pounds, my take-home salary from that would be around 60k per year. So 40k would basically go up in dust. And my biggest problem is I have no idea where that is going. Wait times for the NHS are extremely long. I've personally never been to a GP. I've been to a GP once in the 7 years that I've been in the UK. Doesn't mean that the NHS doesn't serve a purpose. I know that it's good to have it when you eventually need it, but so far I just haven't gotten my money's worth when it comes to that. Public services are absolutely shit. There's dog shit everywhere. I just don't know where my money is going is the problem. Now, I also come from a very privileged place where I lived in Singapore for 10 years. The tax rates in Singapore are extremely low. Public services are amazing. It is super clean, super safe. You can walk around from the club at 2 a.m. without even thinking about anyone approaching you or being in danger. Now, I appreciate that by making this video, I'm inviting a lot of hate to come through. What I suspect is that the hate will mainly come from people who have never lived outside of the UK, because if you have and you've lived in a good country that is managed properly, you will know that you don't have to pay that much in taxes to have a clean, safe country where the public services are good. That's it for this video.